I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning.
Good morning.
We got Smoking Joe Caruso's in the back row.
Smoking Joe.
How are you, Joe? Joe, you know, we only talk to you because we love Bella. You know.
I understand.
Okay, well, welcome. All right. Any public comments? If you have any public comments, we ask you to come to the podium, give you 3 minutes. Please state your name and address so that we have our records straight. Please, yeah.
Terrence Osarko, 127 East Grant Street, Lowellville, Ohio. There's employment in the public school, whether it's teaching, subbing on all levels, whether it's in the classroom or outside the classroom. Through Mahoning County, so people can't complain that there's no jobs in the education field. There are, and in Mahoning County, they get paid $100 a day. If you're hired by the Youngstown schools, $150 a day in the classroom. And they're looking for teachers' aides, parapros, janitorial staff, office workers. And that since the pandemic, after they opened the schools up, I worked every day, throughout Mahoning County and also in Youngstown. And there's jobs out there. So they, tell people, go and apply. And I don't want to hear about, oh, the kids are rotten, they're under. Kids are kids. And you're gonna get some bad rotten apples. So what? You deal with them. And most of the time your administrators will back up the teachers and the subs, because and kids ask me, why don't I get mad at you? I couldn't say I did the same thing when I was your age, telling on people, throwing spitballs in the classroom, pulling someone's hair. It's a good reward, as looking for, like part-time work. You can work 5 days a week or 3 days a week or 2 days a week. But tell people come apply to the education system in Mahoning County, because there's jobs out there, So that's
Thank
my.
you for what
Thanks,
you do.
Terry.
Take care.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to approval of previous minutes of board meeting number 13 from Thursday, April 6, 2023, and approval of bills for payment.
So moved?
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
yes.
Commissioner Trafficani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Journal entries.
Motion approved, journal entry number 1.
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
yes.
Commissioner Trafficani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Okay, travels, lead-based. Hey, Phil.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a sort of duplicate of the travel we had for Dan and myself a few weeks ago. It was mandatory for HUD training in Seattle. They called us out last Thursday as we have 2 grants. We had to send 2 people per grant. So we had to send 2 additional folks to Seattle next week. Very short notice.
Okay, motion to approve travels.
Motion approved, travels 2A.
Second,
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
yes.
Commissioner Trafficani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Agreements, convention and visitors. Linda.
Good morning, everyone. Letter A is an agreement with Caters, which is Travel Host Magazine of Northeast Ohio for advertising services. An ad in the Bridgestone Firestone PGA publication, Vintage Ohio, as well as the Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinement publication. And the total is $5,075, non-general.
Nice, thank you, Linda. Jobs and family.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Audrey, Holly, and Jim. Letter B, Job and Family Services Amendment number 3 with Rolling Hills Spring Water to extend bottled water and cup services until June 30th, 2023, in the amount of $16,177.80. And this is from the non-general. Thank you.
Thanks, Audrey. Okay, lid-based. C through F. Phil.
Read through the rest of the agenda.
E.
C is an agreement with Howland Company for lead hazard control and healthy homes work at 529 Redondo in the amount of $10,606.25 non-general. D is an agreement also with Howland Company for lead hazard control and healthy homes work at 31 Meadowbrook in the amount of $11,292 non-general. E is an agreement with the Mahoning County Community Action Partnership, or MICAP, for combustion testing analysis under a new CHIP grant per unit pricing, non-general. F is an agreement with Lead Checks, which is one of our independent lead inspection risk assessment companies for lead inspection risk assessments and clearances. Estimated amount not to exceed 20,000, I believe. G is an agreement with Apex Inspections for the same work, lead inspection risk assessments and clearances, and they also do some spec writing for us on the amount of $30,000, all non-general.
Okay, thank you, Phil. H, OMB grants, the Village of Sebring. And I think we have the highest ranking officer in the Village of Sebring in our presence. Mayor, how are you, sir?
Good, sir.
It's good to
If
see
I
you.
may, or should I do that later?
No,
Let Anna go first.
yeah, let Anna explain it first and then we'll let you say what you like to.
All right.
All right.
This is an agreement with the Village of Sebring for replacement of the existing Brace and Warden lines in the amount of $64,517.55. And we have the mayor and the administrator here from the village. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I would, thank you. Specifically to the board and all others involved in putting this process together as it was requested. I want to say a sincere thank you for moving forward on this, and it will definitely help those that have that water line that is basically, it's still running, but it's like Swiss cheese. They're constantly repairing it. But that's why we are here today to say thank you. It means a lot from, as a representative of the village, to all those involved in the process. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thanks, Mayor.
I was gonna say, it's gonna go a long way. It's replacing the old line. They're adding hydrants, which will help those residents. And we're actually enlarging the line, which will help water pressure in that area. And
Nice.
we're trying to get it done right before Mr. Genetti gets some paving done there. So we're hitting a lot of things pretty quickly. It's going a long way.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of good things happened. We were out for the land bank and, tearing down the old Royal China. So a lot of good things. And good place to have breakfast in the morning. Where do we have breakfast at across the street?
Royal Star.
Royal Star. That's right. Same as the China. That's right.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's
No,
greatly
all
appreciated.
good. Good things happen, and we're glad to see you here, and we appreciate being able to do things to help Sebring. So,
Thank you.
thank you. And we also got to go visit Mayor Mike Pinkerton, former Mayor Mike Pinkerton.
Yeah, former mayor.
And it was funny how, how on your photos in your phone, every now and then pictures pop up. And there was a picture when we were there, I think all Carol Anthony and myself were all there for a swearing in of some of the city council members. And there was a picture of the three of us with Mayor Pinkerton. And yeah, so it's,
That's nice.
yeah, good. Every mayor that I've had the pleasure of associating with in Sebring's been an amazing individual. So you follow suit. So
Thank you.
all good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, move on to I, probate.
Good morning, everyone. This is an agreement with Compass Family Community Services. It's to provide case management services in the amount of $33,000 in its non-general fund.
Joe, anything you'd like to add on that, maybe?
Well, Commissioner, just that we
These guardianship services, case management services for the probate court are very, very important. We become doing this work as the organization of last resort. And many times these are individuals who are determined that they are not competent, they don't have somebody to take care of their needs, and there's just unfortunately a growing population in Mahoning County that are really in need of these case management services.
Sure.
Commissioners, Joe, I also want to, one of the things that Joe reached out to the court was because he did have some reduction in funding in other areas. And he wanted to really maintain these services, and so did the court. And Joe, want to speak a little bit on that too.
Yeah, there was a reduction of about $80,000 in funding that came to us for providing these services through.
Is that from the state or federal government?
It came through, it's through Job and Family Services, state money coming down to them, that there was that reduction. And, we've tried to piece other funding sources together to try to make this work. I mean, we do receive funding from the senior levy, but these are for services for people who are not seniors, and we do get support from the Mental Health and Recovery Board as well. But when the probate court contacts us, because there's absolutely nobody else to serve in the capacity of helping these individuals, we want to just really try to maintain. We have 170 wards that we have right now, and we do have a waiting list, unfortunately.
Wow. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the job that you and Compass does. Okay, recycling is.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Lou.
Item J is our agreement with the Green Township. It's a drop-off recycling lease agreement for the containers down there. And items K and L are both advertising agreements with both Nexstar and FMJ. Nexstar will be advertising the HHW and tire drives. FMJ will be doing the appliance and electronics drives.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay, motion approved.
Motion to approve agreements, letters A through L.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Change orders, lead-based. Bill?
Hello. Item A is a $0 change order with W&W Construction for lead hazard control and healthy homes work at 204 South Garland. The original contract remains the same, non-general. B is a change order with American Pinnacle Construction for lead hazard control work at 80 New York in the amount of $700, non-general. And C is an agreement or a change order with American Pinnacle Construction for chip home repair work at 518 Hyatt in the decrease amount of $1,550, non-general.
Okay, thanks, Phil. OMB grants?
Commissioners, this is change order number 2 with Family and Community Services, Inc. to include a new HVAC system at 47 Bon Air with no change in the total amount of $24,167.95.
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve change orders?
Motion to approve change orders A through D.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Resolutions?
Motion to approve resolutions, number 1 additions.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Okay, resolutions, Commissioners, OMB.
Commissioners, item A is a resolution approving the agreement and expenditures with the following to assist with COVID-19 public health and funded by the American Rescue Plan Act in the following amount. Grace Evangelistic Temple Church, $23,900. These funds will help them set up a computer room. That was one of the things that was an issue during the pandemic, and children not having access to computers. So this is something that Reverend Jenkins says we're very long with Anna and everyone trying to get this on the agenda. So we're excited about this happening. Item B, I think that was just me, B issue.
Okay, well, B is the reason I think Mike's here, right? And we'll get to that at the end shortly. Resolution proclaiming April 17th to 2023 as Eviction Prevention Week in Mahoning County. Then we move on to Commissioners OMB on C.
See, Commissioners, this is a resolution approving the transfer of funds from the general fund to the Indigent and Guardianship Fund in the amount of $33,000. And this is going towards the program for the probate court.
Gotcha. Okay, D, engineers.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Morning, Rick.
This is a resolution authorizing participation in the Ohio Department of Transportation Purchasing Co-op for the purchase of our sodium chloride as rock salt for the 2023 winter season.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Sheriff, OMB, Joe.
Good morning, everyone. This is a resolution accepting the fiscal year 2023 Marine Patrol Assistance Grant from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, Division of Watercraft. And that's in the amount of $31,986.75. That's with a 25% required match.
Thanks, Joe. Okay, motion to approve resolutions.
Motion to approve resolutions, letters A through B.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Okay. Mike, I see that you're here in place of Rachel. And Colleen is here. Well, Colleen's been here. She's ours. She belongs to us. And Mike, I'm sorry, I can't, I don't want to butcher your last name.
That's all right. It's Cackleries.
Cackleries. Well, no one said it that way in the prelim, so I'm glad I let you do it, you know.
I'm used to it.
But I heard that, that you guys must have pushed down Rachel or something. She hurt her ankle.
Yeah, that's what she's informed me, but I was not at the scene of the crime. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. But yeah,
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for all your support so far with our eviction prevention summit that we are hosting on April 20th. It is being held at the Eastwood Events Center, and the reason we're here today is we are asking for Mahoning County to declare the week of April 17th through the 21st, Eviction Prevention Week here in Mahoning County. The summit that we were planning, first I would like to cordially invite you all to attend. We'd be honored to have you there. We are having landlords, tenants, nonprofit groups, government organizations. They're coming together. They're going to be on panels, workshops, presenting information and trying to come up with some solutions to the eviction issue that is plaguing our service areas. And we are also going to be having a Pulitzer Prize winning author, Matthew Desmond, who wrote Evicted. He will be presenting a keynote address at the summit. And again, we would love for you to all to be there and join us for the discussions that we're going to have on the matters.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Colleen, anything that?
I was just really here to introduce Michael. I've been part of the summit planning, and Community Legal Aid has really been the entity that's bringing everybody together. I work with our homeless population here in Mahoning County, and we really want to prevent people from having to experience homelessness, having to go to any shelters. So really helping people not get evicted is really what we like to focus on. So I think this summit's going to be a great event, and hopefully we can really improve some things.
Let me ask one question, Michael, you might be able to answer this. How many areas in Mahoning County have landlord registration so that some of these things could be prevented on the end of the tenant?
I know very recent, in the last few years, Boardman has implemented one.
Youngstown still have?
Youngstown does have one, and Youngstown courts have implemented a new local rule that requires landlords to have proof of registration in the court file, or else the magistrate has the power to dismiss. And then they've hired new inspectors, and they're really trying to ramp that up in Youngstown to be able to provide quality housing.
And do they still, the tenants who may have issues with their landlord or a group of people that are in a location, they still could go to the clerk of courts and file to put their rent in escrow so that they do not have to?
Yes, it's an underutilized resource. The tenants have to give notice first, and then they have to allow a reasonable amount of time for the landlord to make the corrective action. Not to exceed 30 days is what the statute says. Reasonableness is a variant standard. If your front door doesn't lock, 1 to 2 days alone may be. So then, yeah, you go to the clerk of courts. They have forms there for tenants to fill out pro se for escrow process.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Excellent, thank you.
Say, I know that Judge Baldwin has also been part of this.
Yes, yes.
And so it's a big group of people who have been on the planning committee. Anna and Colleen plan on to both attending. It's actually a board day for the commissioners. So they won't be able to attend, but they're gonna send Anna and Colleen.
And they'll
And
bring all
How
the
long is
information back
does
to
the
us.
event last?
It's a day-long event. I don't know the exact hours. I know I'll be there probably from 7 o'clock until 7 p.m. tearing down,
Yeah.
but yeah,
We'll definitely try to get there in between or after.
that would be great.
And that's a good thing that you're doing that, because some of these landlords, and I don't mean all of them, are not good.
Yeah, there's a few out there.
When I was in this city, there were a few.
Well, I think one of the things that need to be changed is that we need to talk to our state legislatures to try to get a registration process that any community can implement,
Right.
or that can be implemented countywide. As you see now, there's minimal because most all of it is only permitted through incorporated areas, or Boardman is a home rule township.
Right.
You know, so it should be permitted
You're right on
to be
that.
passed countywide, you know, because a lot of things, you know, when we had problems in Austintown with people not keeping their homes up, you know, it turned out to be a lot of landlords that wouldn't fix anything. You know, and the people that actually resided in the homes, they were encouraging us to be a home rule township so that we could mandate a property maintenance code against the landlords that weren't keeping homes up, because, you know, there's a lot of properties people buy and just rent homes out, and, you know, the day they let you move in is the last time you see them,
That's
you know,
accurate.
so it's
That's because they
very,
don't live here now. They live out
Yeah.
of town.
yeah.
That's what's sad.
And Colleen works with the continuum of care, and she sees a lot of the things that go on. And Mike, you're with the legal aid.
Yes, I'm with Community Legal Aid. I'm doing protection prevention work.
Yes.
Patty Dugan told me about this yesterday.
So
She's my
we,
mentor.
you know, we thank you both for the job you do, and sorry that Rachel couldn't be here. Give her our best as well.
Thank you.
also, Anna is our fair housing coordinator for the county too, who works with making sure that people have a right to.
So we'll
do
call
that.
you when we get a problem.
Yeah, Anna goes around and
She's
you
a
know,
little bit of everything.
talks about, you know, the same thing, you know,
Yes.
the discrimination on homes and rental properties and things of that nature. I know that you know, you're always the spokesperson for that, you know, so.
Yeah, as part of our federal awards, we're required to provide fair housing, education, and training. And back when Joe was with the county, I was assigned that responsibility. He's over here, you're still doing that? Yeah, so we travel to all the communities that receive CDBG money, and then we also reach out to community events. Today I'll be speaking at Colleen's Continuum of Care meeting about fair housing, but it is the it's the Civil Rights Act of 1968 for the protected classes of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, and familial status. So I do get not too many calls. I think last year we had about 12 calls. A lot are in the city, which the city's an entitlement community, which has their own fair housing office. So I refer them to the fair housing office at the city. Or another very good resource that assists me in doing my coordination piece is Mahoning Valley Dispute Resolution at 211. And they do a lot of landlord-tenant issues over there to help prevent eviction or get the two parties talking so they can come to negotiation. Is escrow gonna work, or, you know, to find solutions to keep people in their homes, so.
You know what I think would be a good idea for us? Because Mahoning County is not all, it's not all the same in the townships, is if we hosted a town hall meeting, and especially now that spring and summer is coming, to have you a part of that and other people that are within our organization, so that the people in Mahoning County can understand that even though your township or your village or whatever, wherever you live, is not a part of a landlord registration or fair housing, these are the law, this is the rule. I think we should try to host
Sure.
something like that.
Maybe we can
in
focus that in
spring.
the next newsletter as well.
Yeah, because you know,
Yeah,
and I
put
think our
something in.
people are not really knowledgeable on what you just said, Anna.
Joe?
Commissioner, I just want to say, Anna has done a great job, and Colleen as well. They did the fair housing trainings, and so my staff, when we do behavioral health services, and we're doing, guardianship services and our workforce services, my staff attends the training that Anna puts on an annual basis, and it's been very beneficial. So the people that we serve, who are many times underrepresented, have a voice and have an understanding, and then we are advocates with them on that. But without that training that they have provided to us, I mean, it's so hard to keep up on absolutely everything. You guys have given us a great tool to be able to help our consumers be able to stay in their residences and be treated fairly.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, any department heads, electeds, anything for the good of the order? Sarah, anything that you want to update us on the Port Authority, and anything happening exciting outside of every day being exciting?
A lot of great things happening out there in the townships, and more prospects coming to the valley to locate business than ever before. And,
Can't live anywhere.
And what do they call, what's the name of the project when we get $1 billion?
a mega project.
Mega, okay. We had like, what,
A
5
couple on the
megas on
screen
the,
right now.
we had 5 megas, I think, in the last meeting we had with the port. So,
Yep.
yeah, we're only allowed to know that they're,
Make sure your kids and your grandkids stay here. They'll get good jobs.
we're only allowed to know that it's mega number 1, mega number 2. We're not allowed to know the nuts and bolts yet.
Birds, and it's all cloak and dagger.
Because you know how we can be, we could have loose lips. So, all right, well, thank you, Sarah, appreciate the job. Anyone else? Carol?
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for giving us information on the rental assistance and your meeting that you're going to host. That's good information for our people. Anna, thank you. Colleen, thank you very much. I'm very much wanting to have that town hall, because the calls that we start to get now are about that same issue, about landlord registration, about what could they do with their landlords, how do they get something fixed in a home. So these are things we're hearing, and I think if we would have something to this effect, like I know Austintown does not have that. I don't know if any of the other, I know Youngstown does, Boardman does. But I think this would be good to move it central and have that meeting and just talk about things that we need to inform our general public about that maybe they don't know. They may know, but not everybody knows what their rights are, because the landlords definitely aren't gonna tell you that. I mean, my opinion.
A couple weeks ago, I was in Boardman Township, and I was giving a presentation, and I think it was Larry Moliterno had asked me to work with their zoning and their landlord tenant registry to incorporate the fair housing rules into their documentation that they provide to the landlords, and require them to acknowledge their knowledge of the fair housing rules.
And I think that's great, because if a landlord on their point does not have all that information and is not really knowledgeable,
Yeah.
I think we need to have that sooner than later, and then no one can have an excuse. My opinion. So everyone have a nice weekend. Thank you for coming, Mayor. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. So take care.
Anthony?
Yes. Mayor, good to see you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet your new administrator. Best of luck.
Thank you.
You're with a great group out there, and a lot of projects, Mayor, under your administration have been going full steam ahead in Sebring, and we definitely know where Sebring is, though some people don't, but we definitely do. And we appreciate you coming here, because you do show up here quite often here in our room. Colleen, Joe, everything that you do for our community is always well taken and well respected. I think people need to know of their rights, because you have a lot of landlords that really don't have the money to own the property that they have. And you have good landlords and you have bad landlords. So if you can't fix a front lock on a door, you shouldn't be in the rental business. It's very simple. And, you know, a lot of people want their rent money, but they don't want to fix a window, they don't want to fix a gutter. You know, they have money vested in their property. So I highly respect those landlords that do maintain and keep their property up for people have a decent place to live. So the more education that you have out there, you know, but we need to start looking at those landlords that live 4,000 miles away. They buy a house on the computer because, oh, look how cheap it is. And then when something happens, not even the jurisdiction where the property is located can find out who owns it, who do they call. You have people living in a two-bedroom, maybe 4 or 5 people with one toilet. Doesn't work. To me, that makes no sense at all. And I think that property should not be under a person that can't afford it. So if you can't afford a rental, don't buy it. It's not the business that you should be in. Go do something else, because you have to maintain your property. So thank you for bringing this to our attention. I would love to go to that summit. I don't know if we could change our commissioners meeting around, but I would love to attend that and just hear everybody what they have to say, that being said. So thank you. And Anna, all the hard work you've done.
Thank you.
Fantastic. There's nothing Anna doesn't know about county government. So we appreciate you. Appreciate legal aid and all that they do and everybody. So thank you.
You know, and Anthony, being a landlord, you know, I can say that he's got lists of people wanting to go into his facilities because, you know, he takes care of his property. He walks the walk and talks the talk and walks the walk, because he fixes everything. That he's adding on to ones, you know, he's adding rooms on, he's, you know.
I put new
So-
bathrooms in, I put new toilets, new driveways, new windows, add-on rooms. I love it. I love doing it. It's like a hobby, but I really love it.
I want to,
Thanks, Dave.
when I downsize, I want to get into one of Anthony's apartment buildings, that's for sure. But no, I thank you too as well. I also wanted to acknowledge that Carol, Anthony, and myself had the opportunity the other night to go into Poland Township and see their new service dog that the police department brought in, Pogo. And what a little ball of fire that dog is. And it was from a program called Throwaway Dogs, that were abandoned dogs that were picked up off the street or taken to the dog pound. And it came from Tennessee. Was it Tennessee? No, Tennessee or Kentucky. It was one of the two of them, but I think it was Tennessee that it came from. And they had it trained for almost a year, and they finally started the program. And we were all out and had the privilege of being part of their ceremony, and the trustees and the chief police, Chief Wilson, I think is his name, is the new chief in there, in Poland Township, and doing a great job and good things happening. So I too thank, you know, all the programs and Joe. I know Joe, nobody knows county government and inside and out, and the ability, knows the needs and the solutions and the opportunities and the programs better than you. I mean, you are an excellent, I tried to talk Joe into running for trustee in Austin Town. I tried to talk him into being the county administrator again. I tried to talk him into lots of things. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's a good person, comes from a great family, and we're happy to be able to to partner with you in a lot of the programs now that you represent through Compass. So we thank you. All right, with that, oh, and Holly is our, she is our clerk today. And did want to say Anna, Nancy LeBoy, that is normally is the clerk of the board, and Holly filling in. Say some prayers for her mom. Her mom's going through some health problems, and God bless Nancy's mom, and as we move forward. So Thanks, everybody. And with that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Traficani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes. Okay.
The next meeting? Next meeting.
We're on having one.
Stay tuned for next meeting. We may have one, we may not. Thursday, April 20th, 10 a.m.